worst fire season ever recorded.
A day of catastrophic fire conditions across parts of Australia.
So many people here have lost their homes. You are out.
Scott Morrison was confronted by angry residents while visiting the burnt out town of Camargo.
People are angry, whether they're angry with me or they're angry about this situation. All I know is that they're hurting.
Welcome to the first day of Parliament for the year.
There is turmoil in the Nationals ranks this morning with the former Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce set to challenge Michael McCormack for the party's top job.
The leader's position was won by Mr Michael McCormack.
A new scandal engulfing the government.
$100 million of sports grants.
Will you apologise for your handling of this grants program?
Not at all.
Yesterday, I resigned my ministry.
The latest drought affecting New South Wales farmers has been long and punishing.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious pneumonia outbreak in Wuhan.
A flight carrying 270 Australians has just left the coronavirus epicentre of Wuhan.
My priority is to keep Australians safe.
Are we heading for a recession?
This is the greatest economic crisis to afflict the world in many generations.
You produced ads with Back in Black. Are you embarrassed by that hubris?
Well, we're back in balance, and no one can ever take that away from us.
This evening in the Parliament, we gather to mourn and provide solace, strength and love to Hannah Clark and her children.
Murder that again, last Thursday, shocked our country.
The Prime Minister said there must be lessons on tackling domestic violence learned.
We are upgrading the travel ban on Australians to level 4 for the entire world. That is the first time that has ever happened in Australia's history.
The situation has deteriorated so much that we are now talking about a second stimulus package.
Sums to some $189 billion.
The National Cabinet is meeting as we speak.
They confirmed that licensed clubs, pubs, cinemas, casinos, nightclubs have been ordered to close.
We go into an unprecedented lockdown, shutting down all non-essential services.
Today we go further, we go much further.
This is getting very, very real for Australians.
The Federal Parliament resumes today to pass the government's massive $130 billion JobKeeper package.
This is good legislation. It will make a difference. So all those of that opinion say aye.
For a second consecutive day, there have been long lines outside Centrelink offices across the country.
Relations between China and Australia have taken another turn for the worst.
Trade troubles over beef, barley and tourism.
All eyes are fixed on a scandal emerging in Victoria,
Which exposes one of the Labor Party's faceless men.
Tens of thousands of Australians marched in solidarity, defying physical distancing restrictions, and political leaders who urged them to stay at home.
The people can march!
I think it is incredibly selfish, it's incredibly self-indulgent.
For the first time, those who can't make it to Canberra can take part via video link.
This is a big moment. We're allowing remote attendance at a parliament which has historically been face-to-face.
Tonight, are we lurching towards another lockdown?
5,165 cases of coronavirus in Victoria.
Full stage 4 lockdown in Melbourne will be in force.
This virus is taking a heavy toll.
And Scott Morrison's government will also come under closer scrutiny for its response to the aged care and Ruby Princess crises.
How many residents have passed away from COVID-19?
I'll just have to look up my latest report, Chair.
The federal government is set to unveil an historic big spending budget. It's been described as the most important since the Second World War.
All aimed, of course, at pulling Australia out of this deep recession.
COVID-19 has been an economic shock that's hit the global economy and the Australian economy like none other.
Instead of a surplus, the Treasurer has tonight delivered Australia's biggest deficit in decades. Australia Post's leadership is in disarray tonight.
They got watches. They were a Cartier watch.
Calls for the Australia Post Chief Executive to stand aside. Election Day in America.
They've had 4 years to think about it, with another 4 now at stake.
The US presidential election is hanging in the balance.
The nightmare scenario that many feared.
This is a fraud.
I'm not a participant in the US political process. I am a partner.
Democracy is too important for it to be undermined.
They're trying to steal an election.
The Fox News decision desk can now project that former Vice President Joe Biden will win.
I pledge to be a president
who seeks not to divide but unify.
We go inside the Canberra bubble.
Has exposed the seedy side of politics in the nation's parliament.
There is now all-out diplomatic war between Australia and China.
A mid-ranking Chinese foreign ministry official tweeted a fake image this week of an Australian soldier killing an Afghan child.
With restrictions easing and border bans lifting, Australia is powering out of the COVID recession.
Australia is technically out of recession.
The economic comeback is
disappointing
on.
as usual.
The heroes of the pandemic. I believe Australians are better off. The Prime Minister.